It is a Monday, which means we have a lot to talk about, a lot to get to. And in order to do that, as we do every Monday, we welcome in Anita Marks. How are you, Anita?
I'm great, but not as good as your Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly, Dan.
Fly, Eagles,
Man.
fly. I woke up this morning and I chose violence. I started throwing snowballs at Santa Claus. JD Drew was walking around. I threw some batteries at him. I'm all in. We are all in on this 2022 version of the Philadelphia Eagles. There's 0% possibility, Anita, that they won't win the Super Bowl this year. I think we should just call it. Let's call it.
So are you in on an Airbnb in Arizona with me and all my Eagles friends? You and your wife? You guys want to join us?
Start the caravan. We leave at dawn, and we're going to go all the way. We're going to Glendale. We'll do the show from Glendale. I mean, why even bother? They're going to win. They just cancel the season, shut it down.
Done.
The Eagles
Done.
are number one. Easily.
Yeah.
Before we hop into the week that was and the week that is forthcoming, we do want to tell you about something that's awesome going on here on Sunday, which is Trade the Game. Anita will be here. Well, remote. I'll be here. Matt Grecia will be here. TikTok fiend. Over 3 million followers on TikTok. He's going to be joining us as we are live trading and tracking the biggest trades and price swings, momentum swings, everything you could possibly imagine. We're going to be tracking the 6 1 o'clock games and previewing the 4:15 slate. Imagine, Anita, a show that you could watch on the internet, on your phone, as you're watching Red Zone or anything like that. Imagine a show that is basically a cross between Red Zone and Mad Money with Jim Cramer. This is it.
And I want to imagine that all three of us are going to be a little tipsy.
Sure. Why not? Come see Anita
Right?
live trade after she's had 5 glasses of Pinot. Why not? Maybe I'll have a bourbon with
listen,
me.
this is what it's a look behind the curtain. It's what actually happens in my apartment during games. And
I love it.
It's insane. So I can't, as Bart Scott likes to say, can't wait. Can't wait to reveal the insanity and the intensity and the excitement of watching football with Sport Trade. Let's do it. Can't wait.
I was excited before. Now I'm even more excited. I can't wait. I mean, you throw football and trading and a little bit of vino in there. Now we're talking about a whole different kind of show. Well, so make sure you join us at 3:30 Eastern, literally right here, same spot. On Sunday, as we are live trading at the same time. If you don't know Matt is as I mentioned, a financial TikTok wizard. He has traded on Sport Trade, and he is day trading, Anita, whereas you take more of not a traditional sports betting approach, but you're a little more prone to buying and holding for the most part. Matt is day trading that thing. So the two different approaches are going to be really fun to watch. Traditionally, Anita, we will talk about sort of like a recap, but I think the most important thing right now is the NFL futures market. So I want to bring that up as we sort of look at what happened yesterday and look forward. It has completely leveled out. I'm going to pull up the futures market for us right now. It has completely leveled out when you look at the top teams in the NFL in regards to the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Philadelphia Eagles. The Chiefs are trading at $17.50. The Eagles are trading at $17.50. And the Buffalo Bills are at $18. In fact, it's only week 14. 6 teams have 82% of the market. Anita, do you think there are only 6 teams that can win the Super Bowl?
Here's the thing. What makes the NFL so fantastic is parity. I mean, let's be honest. I just got back from Los Angeles. I was at that Rams game where Baker Mayfield drove the Rams.
Unbelievable.
And players that he had only known for 2 days, 98 yards to upset the Las Vegas Raiders. So listen, I get it. I understand, the IPF probability of making it to the postseason, winning the postseason. But the beauty of football, Dan, is any given Sunday. It's one of my favorite sports shows. I'm sure you've watched it.
Oh yeah.
So it's great. It's always good finding value in a team that you think could pull the upset.
So Bills, I said 18. They're actually at 19, 17-5. Excuse me, 17-5 for the Chiefs and Eagles. The Niners at 10.5. The Cowboys at 10. The Bengals at 8. And then you've got the Ravens, the Vikings, the Dolphins, the Bucks, the Chargers, Titans. We could basically throw them out, right? Like they've got no shot.
Yeah, I mean, yes. If
okay.
To me, the class of the NFL is, I do believe that in the AFC, the road to Glendale is going to go through
Philadelphia,
Buffalo, and I think in the NFC, the road to Glendale is going to go through Philadelphia. So Kansas City, you could put up there. Cincinnati, you could put up there, obviously. I think the Dallas Cowboys, even though, close loss to the Houston Texans yesterday, I think that game could catapult and bring that team together because you saw, of course, a huge goal line stand with the defense, and then Dak Prescott engineering his own 98-yard comeback drive. So, I do believe that there's some teams out there that are peaking at the right time that could surprise some folks. How about the Detroit? What if the Detroit Lions get in? Nobody's hotter right now. Dan, nobody's hotter right now than Goff and that
70
Detroit
cents.
Lions offense.
70 cents to win the Super Bowl right now. The Detroit Lions.
Wow.
And if you wanted to buy them, there are 156 contracts available. So let's just say we buy 156 contracts to the Detroit Lions. We clear the lot to win the Super Bowl at 70 cents. You can see it there, Anita. It'll cost you $109.20 and return over $15,000. You in?
Do it.
Oh, well, okay. Well, sure.
I mean, listen, they're going to have to win 4 of their next 5.
Yeah.
A lot's going to have to bounce their way just for them to get in. But Dan, the Detroit Lions, one of those teams that they will be a scary team for opponents to face if they get into the postseason.
Very true. And one of the cool new things you can do in our futures markets, Anita, is you can now live trade the futures market. Great. So we'll talk World Cup in a little bit, but a great example of what was going on there was you could be live trading Brazil before they lost to Morocco. So at one point, Brazil was trading at $38 to win the World Cup, but during that game, they actually fell to 30. So you could conceivably buy the dip on a futures contract, which sounds amazing, right? Let's just say the Bills or the Chiefs or the Eagles are trailing on Sunday or Saturday in the Bills' case. And they go from 19 to 15. There's a perfect opportunity to buy the Bills to win the Super Bowl at a lesser cost. Of course, it won't happen, so it won't matter. We do want to play a little bit of a game here while we're looking at the futures markets, and not just the Super Bowl market, but all of our NFL futures markets, Anita, and that's overpriced and undervalued. So I'm going to give you my most overpriced price, basically, on Sporttrade that is currently existing in our futures market, and I'm going to start in a very familiar place for me, which is the NFC South, because you're looking at this right now, and you're seeing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers trading at $81 per contract to win the division. The Panthers are at 13.5. They're a game apart from each other. I don't know why I had a complete brain fart there. They're only a game behind each other.
It's hard to comprehend.
It is.
That a team managed by or led by Tom Brady is this god-awful. That was your pause.
Bucks 6-7. The Panthers just a game behind them. They were at $6.50 overall. They were at $6 overall just 2 weeks ago when I told you on Market Movers, buy them, short the Bucks. So that trade overall in tandem is down only $4.50 right now, but in the Dan Koob Index, trading way up. That to me is by far the most overpriced thing on Sporttrade, which is the Bucks to win their division. The terrible, stinky Tampa Bay Bucks at $81. What do you think?
I like it. I'm with you. The Tampa Bay Bucks heading into the game yesterday against the 49ers, they had only scored a touchdown on 5 of their 58 drives. Their offense is anemic. Their defense now has a ton of injuries. I'll tell you where there is value here. That's with the Carolina Panthers. They're 3-0 at home with Wilkes as their new interim head coach, auditioning to try to get the full-time position heading into next year. Or does he win Coach of the Year? If the Carolina Panthers win this division, I'll tell you what, he's more deserving. Also, what's really interesting is the Atlanta Falcons. They're going to Ritter now. Marcus Mariota is being benched. They're going to Ritter. Got to be for a reason. They're not out of it. Their chances to win the division are still alive as well. So there's got to be something there that they're seeing in practice to say, wow, this young man gives us a better opportunity than Mariota. So at $7 for Atlanta and at $13.50 for Carolina, there's a lot of value there, Dan.
Maybe not the highest bar on Mariota. It's a low bar. Hey, maybe Desmond Ritter, the pride of St. X in Louisville, Kentucky, can give us a little more of a run. Shout out to St. X. How about your most overpriced squad on Sporttrade?
Yeah, let's pull up the AFC North, especially what's going on right now. Listen, the Ravens defense looked really phenomenal yesterday, and that's how they were able to win. But now you've got Lamar Jackson dealing with an injury. Huntley now is in concussion protocol. There's not an expectation for him to come back and play. So Anthony Brown, an undrafted third-string quarterback, is now going to have to quarterback this Baltimore Ravens team. And meanwhile, Cincinnati is just kicking butt and taking names. Offensively, they're just – and they lost 2 wide receivers in Higgins and Boyd, and they still were able to manhandle Cleveland and finally get Cleveland that cannot beat the Browns off their back yesterday. And then we sit here, we talk about the Cincinnati Bengals offense so much, but defensively, one of the best rushing defenses in the NFL. That was another reason why the Ravens were able to, of course, win yesterday, was because of J.K. Dobbins. He was back. He had a big day, and their defense. These two teams play each other the last game of the season in Cincinnati, in the Queen City. I think Cincinnati wins, and I think Cincinnati wins the division. So if you could get them at $44 to win the AFC North, I'm all over it.
Amy Hashem checking in, up $8.50 from shorting the Bucks to win the NFC South. There you go. Actionable info. Anita, have you ever been to Cincy?
I have not, but I do hear that it's actually more entertaining, better than expected.
It's not.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, it's not?
Nope, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Snoozeville.
Well, then I've been lied to. I have not. So my family. I was born in Miami, but like my dad was born in Akron, Ohio. So I have family from Cleveland, but never been to Cincinnati and have never been to Pittsburgh. So, and I lived in Baltimore for 4 years. So two of two out of the AFC North.
Yeah. Let's say if you love terrible chili, then you will love Cincinnati. Skyline Chili, and this is not a unique take. Skyline Chili is probably one of the worst things in the entire history of mankind. And that's the poster child. So congratulations, Cincinnati.
Here's the thing. My chili, I like a lot of like green onions.
Okay.
I like a lot of like shredded cheddar cheese and a big mound of sour cream on top.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. You don't want to have chili at the Coop House. Tons of beans, tons of protein.
Ooh,
it's a rough night.
That could be dangerous.
It's a rough night. Prayers to my wife and children. How about our most undervalued? To me, why don't you go, because we're staying parked right here in the AFC North. Most undervalued.
Yeah, that's to me. It is right here, right? So for me, the undervalued is the Cincinnati Bengals. I think this Bengals team has just been one of the best teams in the NFL offensively. You can compare them to Kansas City, as well as the Buffalo Bills, and right about now the Detroit Lions, and how explosive their offense is. And defensively, they've gotten better, especially against the run. And what happens is we get closer to the postseason, and it's cold out, and they're going to be playing in those cold temperature games. It's all about running the football, and you need a really good rush defense in order to win, advance, and try to get to, of course, the Super Bowl. So for me, I think one of the most underestimated teams where you can get a lot of value right now is Cincinnati.
For my most undervalued team, we're going right back to where we started the program, which is the Super Bowl. Now, if you're watching this and you watch Market Movers, you're probably saying to yourself, I already know where Dan's going with this, and that's fine. If you work with me and you're not from the Philadelphia area, you're probably saying, this is why we hate Philadelphia sports fans. But I'm going to back this up. The Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl, and they're going to waltz their way through the NFC. Brock Purdy, don't care. Congratulations, you beat a terrible Bucs team. Great coach, amazing coach. He's going to put him in a position to succeed every single Sunday. Great defense. They just lost a cornerback for the year 5 minutes before we went to air. Cowboys almost lost to the Texans. I'm not worried about them, and everyone's going to have to come to Philadelphia. Here are all the things, Anita, in which the Eagles are top 3 in the National Football League. Oh, my goodness. Hold on. We're back. Okay. Here are all the things. First in giveaways, as in they don't give the ball away. Total yards per game. Interceptions thrown, the least amount. Rushing yards per game, first. Rushing touchdowns, first. Yards per play. Points per play. Takeaways, first. Passing yards allowed per game, first. Interceptions, first. Sacks, first. Quarterback rating allowed. All those are top 3 in the NFL. The remaining schedule at Chicago, at Dallas, home against New Orleans, and home against the Giants. That's probably 15-2. That's a first-round bye, which means everyone's coming here. Okay. Everyone's going to have to come to Philadelphia. We are battling through it here, folks. And what happens when they have to come here is they have to play the Eagles game. They have a defense that plays really well and an offensive style that is versatile, that can do whatever they have to do to win a football game. They throw for 400 yards against the Green Bay Packers. They run for 369 the very next week. I'm battling through this, okay? If I can do this, hold on. If I can do this, the Eagles can do this, okay? If I can get through this terrible soliloquy, then the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl, all right? There's nobody in the NFC. The Buffalo Bills have not looked good for a month. Can we agree? Haven't looked good. The Kansas City Chiefs are the ultimate frontrunners. They allowed the worst offense in the last 20 years of the National Football League to score 28 points yesterday. I'm not worried about any of them. The Eagles at $17.50 buy multiple contracts. How many contracts can I buy, Dan? Let's find out. 161. You could buy 161 contracts right now on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl, and I think you should. Fly, Eagles, fly. If I had a producer, I'd ask him or her to get me a glass of water. We don't have one, so we're toughing it out. That's how I feel. Please, Anita, tell me about Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football, it is going to be another snoozer. Why? Can I just ask, why are we getting these really crap games on prime time? I just, something needs to change. But nonetheless, yes, we've got the Patriots going up against the Cardinals. How am I playing this? I'm playing the under. Why? Let me count the ways. The Patriots, they struggle on prime time. This is what happens when you have a defensive coordinator call your offensive plays for Mac Jones. You stink up the joint. They're only averaging 23 yards per drive. They have 0 red zone touchdowns since week 9. They've only averaged 10 points a game their last 2 games. Meanwhile, for the Arizona Cardinals, they're bad at home. 0 plays this season that have gone 50 or more yards. They typically have a slow start. Both these teams actually are better off script than on. And here's an interesting nugget. In 7 games for DeAndre Hopkins, he has 0 touchdowns against Bill Belichick and the Patriots. So I'm going to play the under here. And A, I think the under hits. And B, I think you'll have some value if you want to sell it before the game is over as we go into halftime or as we go into the third quarter. I would definitely, I'm seeing a game script where I'm going to sell it probably at the half, and I'm probably going to sell it at some point in time midway through the third quarter if I feel the momentum change. Because like I said, once these two teams go off script, they actually perform a lot better.
And you're on the alternate under 37.5 at 33.5. So you're really anticipating a snooze fest, as you mentioned. We're going to cruise through the rest of the program, Anita. We're going to go to the Price is Tight. And we had a real good one this week. We will start our guessing game here with the Niners at the Seahawks. I'll go first. I think we're all sort of on the Niners at this point. Clearly the second best team in the NFC. I have Niners at 68. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you right there. You and I, lockstep, right here, buddy. Woo-hoo, 68.
Lockstep, and we're over.
Lockstep. Seattle coming off a very disappointing loss to Carolina. A lot of people got bamboozled by that line yesterday. And the Niners, their defense just looking so fantastic, and Purdy delivering in Kyle Shanahan's system. So yeah, San Francisco 68. Wow, I'm surprised it's only at 63. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
63-5. To me, this is 63-5. To me, this is the game of the entire week, Anita, and that is the Lions at the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I got Jets 54. This Lions offense is looking so good. Jets defense is looking really good. And of course, I'm concerned Mike White got totally beat up by the Bills yesterday. Jets, I believe, are favored because they're home, but not by a lot. I'm going Jets 54.
Well, I reverse prices righted you. I said Jets 53, and it's 51.5. And this market these numbers here are when the market opens, right? Mm-hmm. So this market has actually been moving throughout the day towards the Lions, I believe. I think the Lions are actually now the Jets are 51, the Lions are 50. So it's actually moving closer to 50-50 in a pick'em. Bengals at Bucks. I think the word is out on this Bucks team. I think everyone knows they stink, and everyone knows the Bengals after a rough start, I think, are 9-2 or something like that in the last 11. So I said Bengals 59.
Yeah, I've got Bengals 68. Buccaneers defense, they're an infirmary. They had a lot of guys go down yesterday in that 49ers game. I've been sitting here talking all show how much I love Cincinnati. I'm going 68, Cincinnati 68.
Well, we kind of split the difference here. We had the whole surrounded 64.5, but you're closer. So you get that one by $1.50. You were closer on that one than I was. So there you go. Or what? 50 cents? I don't know. Not a math major. We got a hard out today. Giants at Commanders, and what many people seem to think is an interesting game. I wouldn't consider myself one of them. But it is Sunday Night Football. The Giants going to Washington just 2 weeks after the two teams tied 20-20. But the market, Anita, not seeing it that way. What do you think about Giants Commanders?
Yeah, the reason this game is prime time is because probably whoever wins this game more than likely is going to make it to the postseason as a wild card. That's how much is riding on this matchup heading into Sunday night. It's really going to come down to Saquon Barkley and how healthy or unhealthy he is. He played limited snaps last week. I hope that increases. It's going to have to beat a Commanders team. Commanders at home. I'm going Washington 58.
Well, I said the same exact thing. So we split it. It is Washington 66. So we actually tied on the guess, but we're off. 66. So yes.
Disrespect for the Giants, I say.
How about it? Well, I mean, you look at the way they've been playing the last month. I guess it's maybe not that all surprising. So we are now 1-1-2. So this one is going to be the one that determines the winner, Anita, and it is the Ravens and the Browns. You mentioned the Ravens earlier. You don't have a lot of confidence in them. They're now down to their third quarterback because Lamar Jackson not expected to come back from his knee injury this week. So Ravens and Browns, I will go to you for your final guess.
Yeah, I'm going Browns here just because A, they're at home, B, their defense, well, both the Ravens and the Browns defense is quite solid. But again, if the Ravens are going to have to come to the table with a third string undrafted quarterback and Anthony Brown, not that Deshaun Watson's been wowing the world or anything his 2 games back.
In no way, shape, or form is even wowing the world.
I'm going to go Cleveland 54. Cleveland $54.
All right, I went back to the well here, Anita, and I said to myself, why don't you try to do the Price is Right, the thing again that you did the first time when you won with the Jets. And I tried it and I said Browns 53. It is Browns 57.5. So you get it 2-1-2 and you're now up 7-4 to 1. on the air. So I got a lot of work to do here. And not going well. Quickly, Anita, we'll talk World Cup. So here are the futures markets for the World Cup. France, an overwhelming favorite here at 46.5. Argentina at 37. Croatia 11, and Morocco 7.5. How would you, having positions on France and Argentina, how would you diversify your portfolio, if at all? Are you buying Croatia or Morocco at all?
Well, just to take a step back, I did get France at $15, and I did get Argentina at $15. I love what I'm seeing from Croatia. And this is how I think match plan is, as opposed to game plan. Match plan is going to play out. I think Croatia is going to continue to play mad, crazy defense, right? Like that's how they beat Brazil. Did not let them into their penalty area or create quality chances, allowed Brazil to have quality chances to score a goal. And I think they do that. I think they systematically, I think they intentionally do that to get to penalty kicks because they have arguably the best goalie in the World Cup. So, and Argentina's defense is fantastic as well. I think Croatia is just going to focus on defense. They're not going to let Messi or Argentina to score. And I think they're thinking, you know what, let's get to penalty kicks because we have the penalty kick goalie on our roster. And so I think Croatia advances. So yeah, I think there's some value there to buy Croatia at $11.
So are you selling Argentina?
No, I'm not selling Argentina.
Okay. Well, again, as I mentioned at the top, Anita, what you can do is now that we are live trading on futures, if you wanted to buy a team like Morocco at $7.50, again, to just sort of round out that portfolio, if they do get to penalty kicks, they're going to see a rise in their chance to win the World Cup. And considering that they're playing a style that is lending to that sort of outcome, I think Morocco at 7.5 with the intention of selling at some point in that game could be a really shrewd play. So we'll keep our eyes peeled for that. Of course, one semifinal on Tuesday, the other on Wednesday. Anita, thank you so much, as always, for joining us every Monday here on Market Movers. Again, you will be able to see us on Trade the Game Sunday.
I can't wait.
3:30 to 4:30. Talking trades and previewing the next slate of football games. I'll be there. Matt will be there. Anita will be there in some way, shape, or form. She will be drinking all kinds of Pinot beforehand. There's will be a shoots board being passed around, I'm sure, and all kinds of accoutrement that accompanies a game at Anita Marks' house. Anita, we love you. Thanks so much for being with us today.
You got it. I'll see you Sunday.
We'll see you on Sunday. That's a wrap here on Market Movers. On a Monday, we are back tomorrow with the man, the myth, the legend, the captain. Captain Jack Andrews joins us here on Market Movers in studio tomorrow. Until then, see you next time.